the Boogeyman, the Disney Channel original movie with the Boogeyman, where they're like, yeah, dust bunnies and broken dreams fuse together under the bed to become boogeymen. Like, it was the coolest, weirdest boogeyman or like ethnological, magical boogeyman origin I've ever heard.
Huh. Interesting.
Anyway, this is Scrub Mode.
Welcome to Scrub Mode, and it's me and my buddy John here.
Me and my good buddy.
My name's Julio. My name's Julio AV. I'm joined by my buddy John, and today we're continuing talking about some devils and D&D.
Yeah.
We didn't get to finish that last week, so now we little treat. We get to jump back into it.
Yes. So if you'll recall last time, Julio, the Glatzels family had moved into a new house to escape unspecific crime, where almost immediately a demon came out of a waterbed to cyberbully and possess their youngest child.
Cyberbully. So the demons are in the computers now.
I'm joking. It's more like just fucking like sending them mean messages, scrawling on the walls, and like.
I see.
But luckily or unluckily, depending, we'll get to that. The Warrens showed up, our frenemy, and either made everything worse or just didn't help, depending on who you listen to, because.
I see.
Because the live-in boyfriend of the oldest daughter, Debbie, this is Arne Johnson, during one of the exorcisms the Warrens were doing, he was like, "Take me instead."
Right.
And allegedly, yeah, that's when the possession of the little David stopped, and that's when the possession of Arne Johnson began. Right. So, other accounts we have, just hopping right back into it, like Debbie starts saying that she starts noticing that like maybe her fiance is possessed. He'd go into a trance state often and say that he'd see the Beast, which was the family's name for the devil.
The Beast.
It's good but generic. I don't know. What do you think about that name?
It's very generic. I don't know. The Beast. I mean, you have to say it like that every time.
Especially because he looked like an old man.
The Beast?
Yeah.
Looked like an old man.
Yeah, recall that he looked like an old man at first, and they all thought they had a ghost until he started like showing up with little deer hooves and horns.
I see. A fawn.
Yeah. Just a little party satyr guy here to shove a kid onto a waterbed.
Yeah.
Apparently, Arne Johnson started going into these trance states where he'd see the devil, even during his job as a like tree cutter downer and maintenance person, which sounds extremely dangerous.
A lumberjack, you mean? Is that what?
No, like
a tree cutter downer,
an arborist, I guess. Like it's they never describe his job in a single word, but they're like, he cuts down sick trees, he maintains trees.
Oh, he's like what would you call that? Like a groundskeeper?
Yeah, but like one you can hire for specific. I think arborist is the right word, but I really should have Googled it. Fuck.
Okay.
I put all my research points into the devils and none into tree stuff.
It's okay. I'm asking the wrong questions.
You're asking the right questions.
I'm getting sidetracked.
No, you're getting you're. This is good interview stuff. You're getting me where I don't expect it.
Okay, good.
In another instance, apparently he'd wake up often in the middle of the night and then tell Debbie to go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be revealing this about myself, but as a occasional sleepwalker, and as I used to be a sleep talker, that sounds pretty normal to me.
I mean, I sleepwalk too, but as a small child.
Yeah.
I haven't really sleepwalked recently, as far as I know.
Yeah, the last time I did it, I was in my 20s.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I have a particularly... You got a crazy sleepwalking story? Because I got one, and maybe I'll blow up my... It seems to run
Not
in the
really.
family. Maybe I'll blow up my brother's spot.
Not really. It doesn't really... Nah, nothing exciting from me being small. I would always stay inside the house, I think.
Yeah. So that's
I
same,
wouldn't get too far.
same, but that causes problems when we went camping.
Oh no.
Allegedly, and I don't remember any of this, but allegedly in like third or fourth grade, while we were at a camping trip to Leo Carrillo, I got up in the middle of the night and started wandering around into other people's campsites, and the teachers had to like go and guide me back to bed because they were like, "You
Oh
can't wake up
no.
a sleepwalker."
Or what? What happens
They're
if you wake
supposed
up
to go
as...
crazy, but like
I don't think that's...
no, it's not. It's an old wives' tale. It's not true. Wake up your sleepwalking friend; they'll be confused and upset, but it's better than them fucking wandering a third grader wandering through the woods
Yeah, definitely.
or their fire
Maybe you're
pits
still
and
by the
cars.
Fae, John. Maybe you're still by the Fae.
Yeah,
You're a changeling.
it's possible. Um, would explain some things, but yeah, allegedly I went back to the campsite and then I fucking used my sleepwalker strength to rip my friend out of his sleeping bag and take it before they woke me up.
Wow. Wow.
And my brother has a story. We should get him to tell the full story. But my understanding is he woke up one morning to find the closet door off, and it was a sliding closet door, so it's not like he had Hulk strength. But he found a sliding closet door off his hinges and a sticky note from his girlfriend saying like, "Fix this." And so
Uh-oh.
he fixed it, and he asked in the morning. She's like, "Yeah, you got up in the middle of the night. You started yelling about something. You ripped the closet door off its hinges, and then you went into the kitchen and started making food before I woke you
wow.
up."
Wow.
Anyway, so like I said, just somebody sitting up in bed and telling their partner to go to sleep does not sound particularly spooky compared to those stories. I don't know. What do you think?
Eh. I mean, if their voice were like modulated,
Yeah.
like or something, maybe, but doesn't sound that spooky to me.
Yeah, he would growl sometimes, but there's not a lot of modulation.
I see growl.
Yeah, but like I can growl.
Yeah.
Arr, arr.
That's more of a pirate, really.
Yeah, we quickly went into like wolf pirate, furry pirate territory, but that's okay. Rawr. Snagglepuss. In another instance of alleged possession, one Sunday morning they were in church and Arne Johnson yelled out loud, "Son of a bitch, I gotta get out of here." Which, yeah,
Time to vamoose.
I don't know.
Time to gotta get the hell out of Dodge.
I have often been in long religious ceremonies and felt similarly. I wouldn't have yelled it out loud, but, again, not the weirdest to me.
Not that weird.
Way less creepy than the stuff that was happening with David, with, like, the floating toys and the cake smooching the ceiling and,
Yeah.
spooky hands. No spooky hands here.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's, like, all the possession stuff we get. Until the big deal. So it's
Big deal.
Yeah, it's February. Remember, this is gonna. Well, I won't spoil it if you didn't read the thumbnail. Cut to February 16th, 1981. Arnie decided to call out sick from his tree doctor work with a sore throat, and decided to play hooky with his fiancee while she worked at the dog grooming place. For some reason, I cannot find in any of the accounts. He brought his sisters Wanda, aged 15, Janice, aged 13, and their cousin Mary, aged 9, along to his fiance's place of work, also for some reason.
That sounds inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's fine, but it's... it could be a thing where it's like, his mom was poor and worked as like a hotel cleaning person, so it's like maybe he needed to take his siblings for the day or something.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's
benefit of the doubt there.
it stuck out in my mind as weird. Apparently they all hung out and watched his wife express dog, or his fiance express dog's anal glands or whatever.
Oh, that sounds like a good time to me.
I know, maybe if you're 9 in 1981, it's very exciting.
I mean, it's like pimple popping,
Oh God,
some people are into that.
I can't stand that shit, dude. How about you?
I have a morbid curiosity. Let's just leave it at
Sure, sure.
that.
No judgment. Okay,
My wife watches them too. She's
your
fascinated by
wife's a
it.
nurse. Like, at least she can write that off.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
hey, I'm doing I got This is medical curiosity.
yeah. It's like, what?
That's one of the reasons one of my friends stopped being a nurse, and definitely why I will probably never be into the medical field. But I'm greatly appreciative of those who are, because, like,
Me too.
man, you
I
gotta
feel
do
like
some.
somebody has to be.
Yeah, thank God there are people with stronger stomachs than me, because, like,
Yeah,
that shit gets
sometimes
rough.
it's those people you can depend on in a pinch.
Scrub mode. We're radically accepting of juggalos, of furries, and of ghosts, and they're controversially healthcare workers.
Healthcare workers are the real heroes, man.
Yeah. ACAP, ACAP, ACAP. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
so after that, Bono, Alan Bono, who was their landlord and friend, who owned the dog grooming place, decided to take everybody out for lunch at an Italian restaurant where they all drank a lot of wine, except for the kids, I hope.
Yeah. What year is this again?
1981.
1981.
We are fresh out of the 70s, but it feels like a very 70s situation.
It does, yeah. The 70s linger for a little bit.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like the sequence of events gets a little confusing from here on out. I'm gonna do my best to recap it, but there's like multiple moments where Bono and Johnson get mad at each other, and Debbie is like, "Hey, I think something bad's gonna happen. Let's leave," and then she comes back. Okay, so the first time we get the sequence of events is so they go back to their apartment, and Johnson is like, "Hey, Alan, Bono, Mr. Landlord and friend, your stereo's broken. Let me fix that." He fixes it, and then Bono cranks up the volume super loud, and Debbie can tell that this is pissing off Arnie.
Oh man.
So Debbie is like, she can sense the tension in the air, and she's like, "Come on, three small children, let's leave and go get pizza." Even though we just got back from lunch, again, it's very confusing.
More food. More food.
More food, probably again. Probably just an excuse to get away from these two dudes that she knows very well, and can probably sniff that something bad is about to happen.
Probably a smart move on her part.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think any of these are bad moves on her part.
Yeah.
So like when they return with the pizza, Bono has turned on the TV, which is also now very loud, and I'm quoting the Washington Post article here, began to punch his fist into the sorry, began to punch his fist in the palm of his right hand over and over again. And everyone went downstairs to leave at Debbie's urging, but Bono grabbed Mary as she tried to leave and wouldn't let go. Debbie went to free her, and Bono released his grip on the little girl.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary's again the youngest. She's only 9 years old.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm not sure what's happening here or like what's being left out, but it sounds
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, the implication is that the devil's making him do this stuff, right? He's
That's what's so confusing. Like Bono, this is all the landlord. This is not the dude who's possessed, who's being a creep and a weirdo right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
So it's all the landlord who's acting this way. He's not even possessed.
Yeah, the landlord is not possessed, but he's turning up the volume really loud on all the electronic devices he owns. He's pounding his fist with his hand, and he is grabbing onto this little girl and not letting go.
Okay.
So according to this thing, even though
What happens?
Debbie says that Bono, or the Washington Post says that Bono released his grip on the girl, other sources say that he didn't let go of Mary, and that Johnson was like, "Hey, let her go," and then they had a heated argument.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie had to physically get between the two dudes, and was like trying to urge Arnie to get into the car and just leave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't budge. So she went to go get the girls and put them in the car. And then once they had left, that is when Johnson pulled out a 5-inch pocket knife and stabbed Bono in the chest and stomach 5 times.
Whoa. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Holy shit.
I not to engage in baseless true crime speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Bono's dead. Spoiler. It's a murder
Okay.
case. He
I
doesn't
see.
survive being stabbed 5 times, and Arne Johnson runs into the woods. But, like, it seems, even if alcohol was involved, the timeline seems a little weird. Like, everyone takes off around lunch to go get lunch, and then they drink, and then they go get a pizza.
Mm.
And they, like,
Mm.
I don't know. It's entirely baseless speculation, but, like, part of me wonders if something more happened.
Hmm.
Because the only witness to the stabbing, it sounds like, was Johnson and maybe his fiancee Debbie, because everybody else was gone or dead. So I don't know who's trying to hide what. You know what I mean? Like I'm baselessly speculating, but it feels like a weird, loud volume and
Mm-hmm.
getting into an argument after somebody grabbed. I mean, like obviously you should be grabbing 9-year-old girls, but like
Yeah.
she was already
Duh.
safe. It seems like a weird provocation to then later stab a dude to death that was what your best friend.
Hmm. Suspicious.
Yeah, do you have a take on that? I feel like I was really inarticulate, but it feels weird. It's got a bad mouthfeel.
It does. It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
It's tragic that someone had to die in this situation too. It
Yeah,
sucks.
absolutely.
So, and this is all.
This is all true. So, I mean, like,
Wow.
at least according to the trial records,
This is all recorded.
this is all recorded. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, Bono would die later from his wounds. Johnson fled into the woods, which is not a good look.
Yeah. Where are you
Yeah.
going?
He was quickly arrested and charged with murdering his friend in a drunken rage.
So he ends up going to jail,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, that's exactly where we're going.
Okay.
He gets a defense attorney who is our age, which, like, no offense to any of the other early 30s lawyers out there, but probably shouldn't be. I don't know. I would want a lawyer with a little more experience if I were on trial for murdering my best friend.
Man, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if I had someone my age defending me.
Like, I'd love to have, like, an entertainment lawyer or something my age, somebody who would get it. I don't know about, like, a criminal defense lawyer, though.
I don't know. Maybe.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
You
It'd
just
be
like the
like
vibe?
no. I think it's like. I think the reason I would want one it'd be like yes he's like me but he applied himself. We both had the same start date on our games, but he leveled up faster than me.
That's a really positive way of looking at it, and not being like jealous or something. Like that's really enlightened of you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, his attorney was a dude named Martin Minella,
Hmm.
and he decided to put forward one of the strangest defenses in American legal history. Johnson
Oh, I
was
see.
Johnson was
Devil.
not guilty on account of demonic possession.
Not guilty on not even in beyond insanity.
Yeah,
Beyond pleading
exactly. Like,
insanity.
I believe insanity's been tried a few times, and even like
Hmm.
for like a lot of serial killers and stuff like that, like it does not work.
Hmm.
I don't want to spoil it. We'll see how guilty on account of demonic possession goes.
I wonder what insanity could get you out of. I wonder what it has gotten people out of.
I could have looked that up, I guess, but like
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like if you do like a John Wayne Gacy and they're like, yeah, this guy was so crazy he had like 30 dead children under his porch, and then tried to pretend that he was just guilty of running an illegal cemetery. Like, if that is not crazy enough to get you off, then
I don't know. I'm
like
thinking.
what is?
I'm thinking a crime I would commit, like petty theft or something, like shoplifting or something like that, and be like, maybe insanity can get me out of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Again, it doesn't have a great track record, is my understanding. It could be wrong. I didn't dig very deep into the insanity defense.
It's fine. You
Uh,
didn't have to, John.
I don't know, I might have been smart. But yeah, so Manila, like I said, he was just 33 years old. And he laid it on incredibly thick. He was like he like very quickly teamed up with the Warrens and was like, "Look, I
Mm.
got supernatural experts here," and they're saying
Oh,
the devil was here, and like,
I see.
yeah. He kept threatening to subpoena the priests who were involved in that exorcism that, if you'll remember from last episode, the Warren said took place, and the local
Mm-hmm.
church denied.
Mm.
Maybe they denied it because you're not supposed to do an exorcism unless the Pope says it's okay, and maybe they denied it because it didn't actually happen. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. Occam's razor said it probably just didn't happen, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Hmm.
Um, anyway, he claimed that the devil had followed the priests back to the rectory, where it levitated objects and caused blood to appear in their breads. Woo!
Spooky blood.
Spooky blood, a classic. And a
Yeah.
classic from another case that the Warrens did, which is the Amityville Horror, but that's for a different time.
Yeah. The Amityville Horror.
And then I want to actually let's have you let's have you do this one.
Okay.
This is again I'm quoting from the Washington Post article. Give me maybe your rudest Italian American accent for this. I don't know.
Italian American
I
accent?
think that's what he is based off
Okay.
what
So
he said.
I'm thinking, where's this guy from? New York?
I think we're in
West Coast?
Connecticut.
East Coast?
Yeah,
East
East
Coast?
Coast.
I see. Think about it, he says. What's the guy's name? Bono, right? And what kind of name is Bono? Italian, right? So what does Bono mean in Italian? It means good. And evil likes to destroy good.
The think about it defense. Think about
Think
it.
about it.
Think about it. Evil likes to destroy good, and this guy's name was Good in Italian. So,
I can see that convincing of some people who don't think critically about it.
God, I think that's depressing, but you're totally right. Like, we live in an era where Discovery Channel, based on shows like this, is one of the biggest money makers in
Think
entertainment.
about it.
Think about it.
If anyone ever tells you to think about it, maybe don't.
This is do you know what this synchronicity is? I feel like modern day paranormal circles would say this is a synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
That's when like a coincidence happens that's very meaningful to you. And
Mm.
so in like modern magical practice and paranormal practice, a lot of people get really into synchronicities and being like, you got to follow the patterns that only make sense to you, because if they only make sense to you, they were meant for you. But what that means is that a lot of time, and I've seen it with friends, and I've seen it in some of like my own low moments.
You know, yeah. I think I've tried to have that. I've in my early 20s, if anything.
Yeah.
You know, and your mind is still very much developing in your early 20s. You know, and like things are starting to crystallize, and
Yeah.
boy, does the human brain love patterns.
Yes. Yeah. Like our brains are literally pattern finding machines.
Yeah.
Like we got this, we got pareidolia. It's like if you just let your brain
Yeah.
find patterns, it will find patterns.
It'll make patterns where there are no patterns,
Yeah.
really.
I think the best example of this is the Monster Energy Devil Lady, who is like a famous YouTube clip, which maybe we should put in the show notes.
She's great.
That
God
right?
bless that woman.
Where she's like, if we turn monster to the side, it makes a 3. What is the devil's number? It's 666. So three
There's three
threes.
sixes.
Yeah.
They're
Bloody,
divisible by 3.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like you can do if you like. Anyway, I that might piss some people off, but I really think synchronicities are bad for you.
They
Um,
can be. They can be.
I mean, they're off. Like, I think it's like one of those like filtering those Texas sharpshooter fallacies, where it's like you never hear about the stories where somebody follows what they think is a synchronicity and it leads them into like a bad path or nothing happens. You only hear about the stories where like it leads them to the like their chosen path in life or like a huge thing. And I'm like, that's just somebody. It's Texas sharpshooter fallacy, right? That's somebody shooting a bunch of bullets and then drawing the
Yeah.
bullseye later.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I definitely I think they are bad. They're like if you're only Like it and it's kind of like confirmation bias
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
remember I mentioned that in like an earlier episode, and there's like, like the idea of confirmation bias is that you think it's right because you keep seeing that it's right, or you
You filter out all the things
yeah,
where it's not right. You only hold on to the times where it's right.
yeah, exactly. I can see people doing that with synchronicities, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Manila, he would also say that the stab wounds in Alan Bono's body were too deep to have been the work of human hands.
Hmm.
So clearly, this dude had to use his possessed strength to do it.
He used magic devil powers to
Yes,
do it.
that's his argument. He he then laments that since Bono's body was cremated before he could like get evidence of this, he will never be able to prove it in court. But he is positive that the stab wounds are too deep.
Hmm. That's stupid. I
Uh,
can't believe this got him
yeah,
off.
yeah, and this was a like we're gonna get to it in a second, but this was like a worldwide sensation.
I see.
In an interview, Manila contended, or he later said, "Let me let me back up. Bad take. He was late to. He was once late, at over an hour late to another case, and the judge
Hmm.
held him in contempt and fined him. Which, like, if your lawyer is over an hour late, I think
Yeah.
$100 fine's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Uh, Manila blamed it on the devil, quoting the Warrens, saying that they told him that the devil works in mysterious ways to try to weaken our resistance.
Hmm.
It seems sketchy to me.
It's super sketchy.
Do you know who Norm Pattis is? This is his
Norm
name.
Pattis sounds familiar, but no, I don't. I don't know who that is.
So
Norm
he recently
Pattis.
served as Alex Jones's lawyer in the Sandy Hook trial,
Oh.
where he failed so spectacularly
Hmm.
that Jones is not only facing bankrupting fines, um, not only did Norman Pattis get his license suspended, like to practice
Hmm.
law, and might become disbarred, but he might have been the person who gave all of Jones's text records over to the government, which now has given them evidence to investigate January 6th and a bunch of the other right wing ghouls. Like, he's one of the biggest fuck ups of all time.
Wow.
Um, but I found a How Stuff Works article on the Devil Made Me Do It case where they quote Norm Pattis about this
Hmm.
case. And perhaps, unsurprisingly, Norm Pattis has some professional jealousy in regards to our boy Manila here. Uh,
Hmm.
he's he thinks that he thinks it was a bold and innovative defense.
Hmm.
I just like I don't know. I think that I don't know if Manila's still alive, but I think if like Norm Pattis thinks you're a genius, I think that's a bad sign.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, with the help of the Warrens, Manila pushed this case into the public eye, and it became a huge media frenzy. So like instantly, there were a ton of books and movies, including our prime source, "The Devil in Connecticut" by the Warrens, Gerald Brittle. Like everybody was eating this up. This is not like this is in the era of The Exorcist.
Hmm.
So like people were really devil pilled.
People were loving the devil.
People were afraid of the devil and loving it.
They were like, it was in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. And like we're in the early era of the satanic panic here. And so
Hmm.
like, you know what I mean, which like maybe I should have leaned more into because this is a D&D podcast and obviously the satanic panic almost killed D&D. It has an outsized
Yeah.
and it's sort of happening again right now, which is it's good. I love it.
It's great. I
It's
love it.
great
I love
except
it.
for
It's so much fun.
it's so fun. I love that it is even more aggressively targeting this time around. It's even more aggressively targeting minorities and LGBTQ plus people. It's great. Love it.
For real.
Cool, cool. Glad we learned nothing. But yeah, people were eating this shit up because of that.
Hmm.
And there's this quote from the Warrens that like literally makes my skin crawl. Can I? Are you emotionally able to handle this gross quote?
How gross we talking? Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it really shows you like and I know their son's still alive, so like, hey, I'm
Hmm.
sorry, but I think it really shows you the Warrens went about these cases as money-making opportunities. Like, it's pretty blatant. It's in the newspaper.
Yeah. I feel like if you're going to get rid of demons, you can't.
You can't charge
Charge
for
for
that.
it.
Yeah,
You
Jesus
shouldn't.
didn't charge for it.
He didn't. Why? What?
All right, I'm gonna lay it on you.
Go for it.
Will we have a book written about this? Lorraine Warren asks. Yes, we will. Will we lecture about it? Yes, we will. Are we talking to writers and movie producers? No, we're not, she says. But our agents at the William Morris Agency are.
So yeah, we are.
We are. We're gonna make lots of money off this. We're gonna sell lecture. We're gonna sell at lecture halls. We're gonna sell books, and we're gonna make movies, all based on this story.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I just like. I don't think you can get much more like that. That is exactly why I dislike the Warrens.
That's so like cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, right. I couldn't believe this
So-
was in. I think this one was in People. It might have been in the Washington Post again. I didn't cite this one specifically, but like I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe this was in a major, like a positive take on the case from a major American newspaper. It was, you're exactly right, cartoonishly evil to me. So the case rolls around, and I gotta ask, how do you think it went?
They got off, right? This defense worked.
Oh, I am so happy to tell you that is not true.
Oh, good.
So, after months of hyping this up, like the first day of court, Judge Robert J. Callahan is like, "You cannot use demonic possession as a defense.
Good.
You cannot. We cannot prove that devils are real. Like, you cannot. This does not work. No, not allowed."
Not allowed.
So he didn't even get to use it. He spent months hyping it up, and the judge was immediately like, "No, go back."
He was possessed by the devil.
The judge also declined to let Manila call any priest to the stand to testify, and he made sure to limit what Ed Warren could say on the stand in Johnson's defense.
Okay.
So he was like, "None of this magic bullshit, okay?" And
Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
and to Manila's credit, he immediately pivoted to self-defense, which was semi-successful. So yeah, Arne Johnson was found guilty of first-degree manslaughter charges and sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison for the murder of Alan Bono.
Just 20 years. Wow.
Yeah. He actually only served 5 for good behavior at the end of the day.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, he was young too at this time. I don't believe we should lock people away forever.
Okay.
But he should have gotten something, which it seems like he got.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me that like after months of hype, they were not even allowed to try it.
It's just it wouldn't work.
No.
It doesn't hold any water. It's stupid.
Well, it's like I was sort of saving this for later, but like when the Warrens died, I'll save that. Let me save that for later. We'll get back to it. Let's finish talking about this. But there's actually another court case they're involved in that had it come first, this defense might have worked.
Okay.
So yeah, Arne Johnson got a GED while he was in prison.
Okay. He went to college.
Yeah, he started taking some college courses. He married Debbie. And yeah, I think that's basically the best you can hope for with the American prison system.
Yeah.
So our story doesn't end there. It's going to take a bummer note, as the Scrub Mode stories often do. The Warrens, like I said, really, like, they were not lying with that quote from a second earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there was a movie with Kevin Bacon in it that came out like almost immediately after the trial happened.
I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just called like The Devil Murder Case. It's it's like made for TV. It's very generic.
Starring Kevin Bacon.
Yep. Uh, we already mentioned the book that came out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Conjuring franchise is all based on the Warrens' work, and the most recent movie in that series, The Devil Made Me Do It, is about this case, and like all the Conjuring movies, like they take a lot of liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, I imagine you have to. You'd
yeah,
have to
that's the
spin that.
also like this is the problem. Like we just had this in our episode with Tim, where I was like, and the story basically has no third act for any of these paranormal stories. So third act would imply some sort of like conclusion.
Justice or something, or
Yeah, but it's like and then I guess Andrea Puharich just Dr. Puharich was talking to psychic AI machines in another dimension, and maybe a psychic space god who's telling him how to do perpetual war to make peace. Anyway, he just stopped getting psychic messages, and then he got kidney failure and fell down the stairs. The end. Like, there's
yeah,
never a third act to these things.
no. Oh man.
And that happens here too, where it's just like, so they went to trial, and the judge didn't let him try it.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know if you know the show A Haunting.
A haunting.
A Haunting.
A haunting.
Yes.
No. It
It's
sounds
a
familiar, but
it's a vague title. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, it's big, like recreating famous haunted stories, and they do a lot of haunted stories. It was on Discovery Channel before the big paranormal show boom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this story is featured on there as like a big episode season finale where they actually get Debbie Glatzel and Arne Johnson as adults much later to come and talk about their experiences. To this day, Arnie, Debbie, and Mom Judy maintain that the devil did in fact possess their son and then their fiance,
Mm-hmm.
while Carl Jr., who was the middle child, and David, who was the kid who was possessed at the start, say that David just was seriously mentally ill and like needed actual help and not to be held down and have people yell Latin at him every night.
For real.
Yeah. And like given like what happened immediately afterward, where like if you'll recall in our first episode, like when he started getting psychiatric help and got placed in a special school for quote unquote disturbed children, he immediately started to improve. Like,
Oh, good.
yeah,
That's a good story. Good. That's I guess the closest we can get to a happy ending.
yeah, yeah. So uh, when the Warrens tried to reprint our main source here, The Devil in Connecticut, in 2007, David and Carl Glatzel Jr. sued them for intentional infliction of emotional distress, violating their privacy, libel, and financial damages.
I see. Hmm.
The pair claimed that David, like I said, needed psychiatric help and not to be turned into a quote unquote spiritual freak show. They also claimed that the Warrens promised the family that they'd be millionaires, but only paid them $2,000. Kept all the book and money residuals for themselves.
Wow.
Again, like based off those earlier quotes, I believe it.
I believe that definitely.
Uh,
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the suit was dismissed, but at least they stopped the book from being republished.
Okay.
And like I said, that's sort of our flaccid ending because these never really have a third act.
Right.
You got any thoughts before I hit you with the kicker?
Oh man. I guess I don't know, man. You ever hear? And this made me think of like a modern day like exorcist that I know about. I know they're all over TikTok
Are they?
and
See, I
YouTube
don't
and
have a
stuff.
TikTok.
There are people posting videos of actual exorcisms that are being
Yep.
performed, and a lot of it is stuff that can be logically explained. You
Yeah.
know, like if you think you're possessed by a demon, and and like how do I explain this? Like if you if you're a person who's like who believes that it is possible for a demon to possess you, then maybe that puts you at a sort of a disposition to think that you would be. I don't know. I think it all feels like stuff that has to affect you, that can only affect you if you believe in it, kind of situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
not to
be
disparage people who are
susceptible.
spiritual or anything, but, I mean, the human mind can make you believe so many things.
Yeah, absolutely. The brain is really powerful, and I'm not talking about psychic powers here. Like it
Yeah,
really
just, yeah.
your
Like we were just saying, the brain loves patterns,
yeah, and it
you
can
know?
like your perception. We are talking about magic, and this is both
Hmm.
true, the root of a lot of modern magical practices, and also just something that's true about like brain stuff. Is like your perception of reality really changes how you see it. Three different
Hmm.
people can see the exact same thing, and due to like their belief system, they'll interpret it as totally different things. Like
Hmm.
we all with three people see a bright light in the sky, and a religious person's like it's an angel, and a weirdo like you or me is like it's a UFO, it's an alien, and the third person is like I'm pretty sure that's just ball lightning. All saw the exact same thing, all came to extremely different conclusions based on their understanding of reality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's funny that, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's
Yeah, we're not
so
brain
many roads.
scientists. That might shock you, listeners, but we're
Yeah. I wish I would want to be. Oh man, that'd be amazing. If you're a brain scientist, come on the show.
honestly, yeah,
I wanna pick your
we'd
brain.
love to pick. Oh, honestly, I think that would. I don't know if we have any brain scientist listeners, but honestly, that'd be really cool to talk to you when what
If
you
you're a brain
understand.
scientist, email us. Links to do so in the show notes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. Are you ready for the kicker?
yeah. What's the kicker?
So, Warner Brothers, like I said, has been making these Conjuring movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in 2017, the author of the book that we just talked about, Gerald, the Devil in Connecticut, we're talking about Gerald Brittle here. He
Mm-hmm.
sued Warner Brothers for $900 million because he's like, "Hey, you
That's my
are
life.
sorry, what?"
That's my life. You're
Yeah,
copying.
exactly. He's like, "Hey, you're just taking all these stories that I wrote about the Warrens,
Yeah.
and without my permission, you're adapting my work. I know you have
Mm-hmm.
the rights to the Warrens' life stories, but they sold me the rights first. So this is
Yeah.
this is my shit. You've stolen from me by turning my books into movies without compensating me." To which
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers canceled. No, 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 no. These are true stories, aren't they? You didn't make this up, did you? The Warrens aren't frauds, right? Um, and the dude was like, okay, no, definitely. I don't want either of us to lose money here. They're not frauds, but you are still taking scenes that I've written wholesale and putting them into your things. To which Warner Brothers countered, hey, bud, these are true events, right? Ghosts are real. And I'm just, you can't copyright a historical figure's life. I'm just reinterpreting I'm just showing the facts as I know them to be. It's just another story based on a real thing that happens. The Warrens aren't an IP; they're real people, and these are true events. So they had to. The judge said, for that to be true, ghosts have to be real. So for a brief time in 2017, Warner Brothers was in court trying to prove that ghosts were real.
Wow.
They settled.
This is an awesome world we live in.
Yeah, this is great. I love that this is so much time and money went to this.
So
It
much.
right before COVID-19, in the midst of an ongoing global climate crisis, in the midst of just like every
Warner
kind of injustice you
Brothers.
can think of.
Warner Brothers really wants
Yeah,
Etrigan to exist.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of a Warner Brothers own demon. I think he's the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah, Etrigan's the first one that comes to mind. It's all DC stuff for me. I can't think of something else.
Yeah, who else? How many demons in the DC universe? I know there's Mephisto. No,
No,
Mephisto is
Mephisto's
kind of in.
Marvel, unless
He is.
there's probably a Mephistopheles, like they're based off the.
Yeah, I think there's a different Mephisto in DC. I think there is.
Raven's dad, who is weirdly voiced by a
Trigon.
friend of mine's dad.
Trigon.
Yeah, he used to be my
Yeah,
soccer coach. Very weird.
that's so funny.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. So they disappointingly they settled out of court, so nobody had to prove that ghosts did or did not exist in the court of U.S. law.
Good. Oh man, that's stupid.
Isn't that dumb? Like,
It's so dumb. It's oh man.
it's wild. It should never have gotten that far.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Man.
Then I just I did not study this deeply, but it also came up. But there is a New York State court case called Stambovsky versus Ackley, which was this made it all the way up to the New York Supreme Court, and this is called the Ghostbusters ruling. And this held that a house which the owner had previously advertised to the public as haunted by ghosts was legally haunted for the purposes of action and blah blah blah. Like, basically, if you say a house is haunted, legally it's haunted. If somebody buys the house and there are no ghosts in it, you're fucking liable for that. If you can't
There
then
better
change
be
your mind.
fucking ghosts in this fucking house.
Yeah, yeah.
If you say this house is haunted, there better be fucking haunted.
But also at the same time, the house being haunted is part of caveat emptor, which is buyer beware, which means it's just one of the things you should check for.
Maybe the ghost just doesn't like you. He doesn't want to show himself to you.
Yeah, but legally in the state of New York, legally in the state of New York, the Supreme Court says you should, in addition to checking for termites, in addition to checking for all the stuff you check for when you buy a house,
Check for ghosts.
it's not on the landlord to tell you whether or not there are ghosts. You have to check for yourself whether there are ghosts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
Caveat emptor. That's all I fucking got. The U.S. legal system has a pretty hit and miss record with ghosts. The warrants suck. Don't stab your best friend, even if he's being a creep. I guess.
I know we've talked about this, John, but I can't remember your answer. But
yeah,
hit
me.
If you could experience a ghost, would you? Would you want to? Is that on your bucket list? See a ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm pretty skeptical, especially on the show, because I really hate grifters and stuff like that. But I'm definitely of the opinion of I'm skeptical because I love this stuff and I want to believe in it. But I've seen so many fakes and so much bad evidence. I'm always hunting for good evidence.
That's true.
And I don't know what would even qualify as good evidence for a ghost. But if I had a personal experience, that'd be pretty cool. I think I don't know if you remember, but on one of the earlier episodes, I just sort of a get to know us sort of looser episode, I mentioned the one time I saw a shadow person, which some people think is a ghost. So I still can't explain that other than child brain being fucky. But
yeah,
it's one of my favorite memories. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I wanna believe.
I want to see my list of things.
But on the serious note, where would that take you? What would that do to your brain? What life trajectory would seeing something unexplainable have on your worldview, on your mind, on your person? On your.
I think
what happens if you're
good for me. I don't know about you, but I would always be trying to recapture that then as proof, but nobody succeeds at that, at least so far.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, right?
How about let me ask you this in response, ghost, alien, or cryptid? Which is the one you most want to see? Which is the one you least want to see? And I'll let you choose.
The one I least want to see? Oh man, ghost, alien, or cryptid? Okay.
I'll
Okay,
let
I
you
think
choose. I'll let you choose because, like, I think a
the
Nessie
one I'd
sighting would
least
be,
like to see,
yeah,
I think, it's hard. It's hard because the answer changes depending on like the worst possible
yeah.
reality.
That's what I was about to say. Is like,
You
well,
know,
like, I'll let you choose. Like, obviously, if you see Nessie,
I think
Nessie's cool, but seeing like,
least possible
see,
aliens.
Alien,
Like
not,
if
not.
I actually happen upon aliens
Oh yeah,
in, or if that becomes proven in some,
yeah,
and it becomes a big part of our lives in the future,
yeah,
in the near future, that would suck.
yeah,
Because the implications of everything,
yeah.
But the most, I think maybe a demon, maybe a ghost.
I think seeing a demon would be the
The absolute worst.
the worst because, like, I
Then
don't
it's
know.
like the
If you see a demon and somehow it is a real and provable demon,
Mhm.
then
that
doesn't
that
that lend
implies that
itself?
Jesus was real.
Yeah, doesn't that imply that, like, and like I've
That God is real, hell is real, heaven's real, and you got to make a choice.
again, like, and I had a split focus between Islamic jurisprudence and economics, and like Islamic economics, which was like my main focus, was a mix of the two in grad school. But like,
Hmm.
like, oh god, I don't want to fucking get myself canceled. God makes a lot of really unfair rules and judgments in
I
all of
don't think
them.
that's an unfair thing to say of God,
Yeah,
if God exists.
I like I. He
Like,
makes
why did God give us these senses? If demons and devils are real, you know, God gave us the senses that we have, and He didn't give us a sense to like perceive everything.
yeah,
Apparently, and
yeah.
in some ways that's true. There are dimensions that we can't perceive
Yeah, I mean,
that
even if we can't
exist.
prove that, like, there's colors we can't see, there's strains of light we can't see, but bees can see, cuttlefish can see, birds can see, bugs can
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So the Darwinian implications of demons and angels. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah,
like, where do they fit, do they even fit on a biological clade if they're fr- fragments of God's will made manifest from the firmament, of which, because he's all knowing and all perfect, he's allowed some to roam free and hide in waterbeds and possess 12-year-old boys, and some of which he allows to look like UFOs to, like, really scare very old Jewish men. I don't like. I know, well, it was getting heavy and weird, but like, it's inconceivable. I know, for me, it truly is. I
inconceivable.
can't fathom all the implications. Like,
Can you fathom? If you can fathom, email us.
if heaven and hell exist, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Especially when there's a God who was like
You
claims
need
to
a
be.
place for everyone who agrees with me and everyone who doesn't believe in me.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, I think I would most like to see.
Aliens? You want to see
Okay,
aliens?
I know I least want to see ghosts because if like, I think I've seen a ghost already, and I've just been like, oh, that was weird. I can't prove anything from it. Like,
Right.
seeing another ghost, and it was a good ghost sighting. It was inexplainable. It was a shadow person, and it physically moved something that nobody else could have moved. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know about ghost. Uh, uh, Man, I love cryptids. Cryptids are my favorite, and UFOs are my
You
second
definitely want to
favorite.
see a cryptid,
Yeah. So, like, the
like
question is,
Bigfoot or.
I don't want to see. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I don't want to see. If I saw a cryptid, I want to see a cryptid that's like truly like Bigfoot. There's so many Bigfoot sightings. It's like if you look at a map of where Bigfoot is, it perfectly matches up with a map of like where bears are, and also
Oh,
like
okay.
perfectly matches up with a map of where furries are. And that's not to imply that furries are Bigfoot. It's simply because where there's more people, there's more furries, and there's also more people who think they see Bigfoot. So, like, if I saw a Bigfoot sighting, I'd probably come on. If I saw Bigfoot tomorrow, I'd probably come on this podcast and we can be like, "Yeah, I think I saw Bigfoot. Could have just been a big bear. Could have been a dude in a costume. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't change it. Like, I'd want to see the
Hmm.
Mothman 5 feet from my face flying through the sky. Like, something I could not mistake for anything else if it was scripted.
Mothman. That's almost also alien. and
Yeah,
Ghost.
we'll do a big Mothman. Like Mothman is so crazy. We'll do a big on-air production meeting. We'll do a big
Mothman would
Mothman
be
episode
cool.
someday.
But
Uh,
he's also a harbinger of doom.
he's a harbinger of doom. He's extra dimensional. When he showed up, there were also a bunch of UFOs. There were also Bigfoots. There was also poltergeists. There was
Mhm.
also Men in Black. There was also uh, what do you call it? Um,
Like all kinds of stuff.
there was Woody Derringer saw the Grinning Man, which is very spooky. But
Ooh,
then that
that's
case turns
spooky.
out, as he like talks more about it, it turns out that the Grinning Man is another contactee case where he's like, "You should all just be naked and stop using nukes. Bye." Like it gets very weird very fast.
Wow.
It'd have to be like a 3-part series.
Wow.
Um, I don't know. I don't got much else.
I see.
The implications of seeing an alien would be crazy, but it would also mean it's a lot like the implications of seeing a demon, where it's like, okay, if I saw an alien in a spaceship for real, does that
Yeah.
mean that all the horrible abduction stories are true? Like, if our man, even if our man Corton from Meton is true, there is still a big creepy blonde guys in the sky hitting on 9-year-old Earth chicks and trying to like impregnate them, which is like that. Those are the good guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great if real.
Yeah, big if true, bad if true, very bad.
Yeah. I know, man.
I was not. I don't think I'll be the first person to say like during the worst parts of 2016. I was like, man, I wish the reptilians would show themselves. Like we can't be doing any worse. Let the Marcons come on out. Let them just take the wheel.
For real. But
Pluggables,
pluggables, man, follow
go
us on
give us.
TikTok. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, and we'll shout you out if you leave a review.
We're setting it full 5 stars. It's not many 5 stars, but it's
Five
all 5 stars.
stars.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone who gave us 5 stars. You're awesome.
Um,
Um, maybe buy us a coffee. Shout out to Jesse Sanders also, who made our music. He's an awesome guy. Follow him on Instagram. Links to do so in the description.
go to Metal
Uh,
Gear Solid Con. That's still. I think when this
Good.
episode
Yeah.
comes out, that'll still
If
be.
that's happened already, maybe tell us about your time. Hopefully, you had a
Yeah,
great time. I'm sure
or
you
buy the
did.
digital VOD tickets so you can experience it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
didn't we hit a
Yeah.
milestone recently we wanted to brag about? I'm trying to
We
remember.
ju- we exceeded 1,000 plays
Hey,
not that long ago, and it's still going up. So I'm really grateful. If you're listening to the show and you like it, if you think you know someone else who might like it, let them know. And
yeah,
maybe
that's basically the best thing you can do for us is
it really is.
get us to
It
somebody you
really.
like.
Share us this with somebody you like. Tell everyone about us. Tell your parents about us. Tell your brother about us. Tell your sister about us. Tell everybody about us.
There's a sign at the zoo where it's like what you can do to help the conservation of turtles, and like rule number one is like tell your friends and neighbors about turtles. That's how you
Yeah,
can help turtles. So yes, tell your friends and neighbors about us. That's how you can help us, like the turtles.
yeah. And also tell them about turtles too. Shout out turtles.
Save the turtles. They're great. We
Save
love
the
them.
turtles. They're beautiful. They're lovable. I haven't met a person. Anyone who doesn't like a turtle, I don't know. I'm not friends with them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man. What else? I think we're going a little long, but I feel like there's more I should say. Oh yeah. This episode should be coming around the end of spring, so that means we're taking a little break over the course of summer. One episode a month, except for August, which gets two. We're releasing episodes on the full moons of summer. So that's
Ooh.
three. There's gonna be 3 full moons over summer. This, let me Google that real quick. Full
Just
moons. I'll cut this out. Don't worry.
I was gonna say like we say our Google searches out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a cute little gimmick. Thank you for helping us get to 1,000. We will be back after the summer with a regular release schedule. But
Look for us on the night of the full moon.
Yeah, stay up late, look at the moon, listen to us.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Say a quickie prayer to Khonshu.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.